Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and I wanted to show you how I actually use storage to back up everything I do on YouTube. This is the Synology DiskStation DS1522 Plus, and this video is sponsored by Synology. However, I like their products, and it's something that I regularly use. I have to back up all my data, and so I thought I'd share that with you. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is $699.99. It holds 5 different drives, and you can buy expansion modules for it as well. So let's go ahead and open this up, see what we've got in the box here. So the first thing is this little part here, and it's just our power adapter here, a normal wall AC adapter. We've got this box here. So in here we have an AC adapter. So this is just the remaining part of the wall adapter, a quick installation guide. It looks like we've got 2 Ethernet adapters and they're Cat5e adapters. You can see that there, and also some screws and then little keys to lock the overall disk station itself. Now let's go ahead and remove this, and that looks like it's the disk station itself. So we'll remove that from the box. We have nothing else in the box itself. So here is the disk station. Let's go ahead and open this up just to show you what's included. And there we go. So let's remove this cover here. So we'll remove the cover off the top, and you can see the disk station itself. So you've got your 5 different drive bays. On the front, you have USB and a power button with different status lights for your disks. And then around the back, of course, this is where we have our Ethernet jack. So we have 4 different 1 gig Ethernet ports. We also have an eSATA port. We have dual eSATA ports, an expansion slot as well for a 10 gig Ethernet adapter, which I actually have here. So this is the E10G22 T1 Mini 10 gig Ethernet adapter network upgrade module. So if you decide to order this with it, let's go ahead and open this up here. Just show you what it looks like, and we'll take a look as well. So open this up quickly, and inside we have our little module here. And this should go inside the device. We'll do that in just a moment, but this should be our 10 gig Ethernet adapter. Now we can place our network adapter in here. Now that I unscrewed the door here, we just slide this into place, press down, and then we can replace the screws that came with it. Now in the bottom, we actually have expansion ports. So we can fit 2 M.2 NVMe SSDs in here as well. So if you want to do that, you can, and you'll see it just says removal. It slots in the end and then clips down onto this clip right here. On the front, we can just pull the hard drive bays out. And as you can see, they are made of plastic, but they'll hold your hard drive right here. Without a tool, if you want, you just pull back this side and snap them in place. Let's go ahead and place the drives in it. As you can see, I have a 4 terabyte drive. I have 5 of these. I'll go ahead and place them in here. So here's the carriage that comes with it. We'll just put this in place, put the hard drive in here. Now you could use screws with this if you really want to hold it in place with the included screws. I prefer the little toolless snaps, makes it much easier, and you're not really moving this around, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. So again, snap these in place. And once you've got that in place, you can just repeat. So now that we have our hard drive into the carriage, we'll just place it into the slot and then repeat that 4 more times. Now we'll place the last drive in place. This is a 4 terabyte drive. You could use an 18 terabyte drive for a possible total of 90 terabytes of storage in one device. You can use up to 15 drive bays with 2 DX517 expansion units as well. So you could couple a few of these together, giving you a huge amount of storage. Now, before we plug this in, for a long time I used to use Drobo, but dependability and backup became a concern as it's hard to access the data since it uses a proprietary storage and backup method. Synology just lets you access the data if you had a failure and you needed to get that data back. You can't just easily restore one drive in a Drobo. Instead, you have to use sort of a roundabout way. In this case, we just plug in a drive and then recover what's on it. So this is a much more seamless and reliable experience in my experience. Now, with all of these drives in place, we should be able to read at 736 megabytes a second or 796 megabytes a second sequential write speed. It does have those built-in Ethernet jacks. It has a dual-core AMD Ryzen R1600 with 8 gigs of RAM, expandable to 32 gigabytes. We have a year warranty included, and you could purchase a 2-year warranty on top of that. Now let's go ahead and plug this in. Now the network attached storage is attached to my network. I'm connected via Wi-Fi here, but that doesn't matter. I'm wired into my router, and you can see I've searched for the actual DiskStation itself. And if we scroll down, we can go to our desktop utilities, and there's a ton of different things to pick from. You've got the drive client, an assistant, and more. And if you click on download, you have options for Windows, Mac, and Ubuntu Linux. So you've got pretty much everything covered that you would want. I've downloaded the assistant and the drive client. Let's go ahead and close this and open up the Synology Assistant. It should find it on the network. I haven't connected to it yet, so it's searching automatically. We'll give it just a moment to see if it finds anything. As soon as it finds the DS1522 Plus, I have to agree to the user license agreement. So once I do that, we'll hit OK. Give it a moment. It found the IP address on my local network, and now it says install. So let's go ahead and click install, and we can automatically download the latest version. We'll just do that. And it says all data will be deleted. I haven't set it up yet, so that's fine. If you have set it up, you want to be cautious of that. And it says installing DiskStation Manager. So it'll take a moment. We'll give it a moment to finish. It's formatting the system partition, and once it completes, we'll go ahead and check out the options. After about 5 minutes or so, it completed, the DiskStation made a beep, and then it installed the remaining software. Now let's go ahead and click Start, and we can give the device a name. We can set up our administrator account and our password. After you set up your administrator account, you can see Select an Update option. We'll automatically install it. Just leave it on Recommended. That's the easiest. And then we can create a Synology account for more benefits, such as taking control of Synology services, cloud monitoring, and more. Now we have the option to access your Synology network attached storage from anywhere. You can put in an address and then connect to it later, or just skip it altogether. After the initial setup, it brings me to a website where I can access all of my settings and storage. Once I log in, it says create storage pool and volume. This is where we get into what this is actually created for. So we'll go ahead and click create, and you'll see start to create storage pools and volumes. It's a super simple setup. Here we can configure the storage pool property. Now I'll typically use RAID 5, and that gives me the fastest speed, but also redundancy if we have the event of a drive failure. So let's go ahead and click next. We can select our drives here. And you'll see after RAID 5 with the redundancy, we'll have about 14.5 terabytes of storage. That's good for me. Let's go ahead and put in the total capacity, 14,863, or we could just click max, put in whatever you'd like, click next. And here we have a couple different options for file systems. So we can pick the normal sort of ext4, or we could use BTRFS. So it's up to you. If you aren't familiar with this, just go ahead and click next and then click apply. And you'll see it says all the data will be erased. Since we're setting it up, it's not a problem. Of course, you want to be more cautious if you're not setting it up for the first time. So here you can see we have the option to extend our warranty. We'll just skip this for now, and then it's going to give us a tour of everything we have here. So here we have the system status. It's healthy. We have our LAN port, our uptime, and then our current resources being used. And here it's just showing us around if we want that. So this is a very simple interface if we want to just see what the storage is doing. And then, of course, we can create storage pools, volumes, SSD cache. We can schedule data scrubbing, hot spare, so we could hot swap a drive, and we have other settings as well. Now initially we'll be in the storage manager. We have an overview of our drives. It says it's healthy, system is syncing. We can click on individual drives to see their overall status, location, and so on. But if we want more, we can click on our desktop here, and we have a bunch of different applications. So we have our control panel with all of our different file sharing, external access, and more. So we need to set up a file share so we can actually put information there or put files there. So let's go ahead and create a shared folder, and we'll just give it a name of Z Storage. And we'll just go ahead and click Next. We can encrypt it or not, and then we can have it do a data checksum for advanced data integrity. That's fine with me. And then we'll click Next, and then Next. Now we want to give it some sort of access so I can put information in it, whether it be videos or anything else. Click Apply, and then we want to go to Finder, and we'll connect to it. So we'll go to our network, we'll go to our storage. We've got our storage folder we just created. We'll connect, and now we're already connected. Now, I may have to put in my password from time to time, but if I want to start moving folders here or files, let's go ahead and do that. So I'll open up another Finder window, and within that Finder window, you can see I have my YouTube videos. Now, there's not a ton of information in here yet, but we'll move more from other Macs as well. So we'll go back. Let's just copy this over, and then it will copy over the network, dumping it onto the storage array. It's about 400 megabytes, and it's fine if it works in the background. Then we have that backed up. Now we can use their utility to back this up automatically. So we could say we want this file backed up at all times, and then we want the network attached storage to back that up to the cloud. Let me show you how that's done. Now I've been using the Synology drive for a few days, and if we go into it here, you'll see I have it on my desktop labeled Z storage. You'll see that if we go in here, we have all of my YouTube videos, and there's actually different things here from different locations. So you'll see 14-inch MacBook Pro and Mac Studio. These are actually at two different locations. So it's backing up all of the video files that I upload to YouTube, not only locally, but from my 14-inch MacBook Pro and also YouTube videos from my Mac Studio. So multiple computers at two different physical locations. So I wanted to show you how I do that with this computer as well, since it's not set up. Now the first thing is, after you have everything configured on the Synology NAS, now you need to use the Synology Drive client. I've already downloaded it, but you'll see it's available for Windows, Mac, or Ubuntu Linux. So you can use this on any of them, all of them at once, whatever you have. So if we go into our Launchpad here, you'll see Synology Drive Client. We'll go into this, and this will help us back up information on this computer to our storage. So we'll click Start Now, and here we'll put in the domain name or the Quick Connect ID. This is something I created earlier, and you'll have the username and password for. So once you log into that, we'll go ahead and click Next. Once we've logged in, it will find the network attached storage remotely. It doesn't matter where you are as long as you have that enabled. You can sync a folder just like you would with, say, iCloud or Google Drive or anything else you have set up. And then you could also back up something. That's what we're going to do. We'll click Backup Task, click Next, and now we can select the very folder or all folders to back up. Now if we scroll down, I typically have everything under Movies and then under YouTube videos. So we want to back this one up to the storage unit. So we'll go ahead and select where we want to back it up to, and you'll see under the folder, I have my storage and YouTube videos. So we're just going to select YouTube videos, then we can see where they're actually coming from when we're backing these up. We'll click OK, then we'll click Next. Then we can have it continuously back up, meaning anytime I update that folder with maybe something new, it will back up, or we can schedule it. I have it scheduled at my house to back up here and also have it continuous at my office. So once I'm done with a video, it will automatically back it up. So we're going to use that same method here and click Done. Now it's going to tell you it's running in the background. This is going to run every time you boot up your device, and you can see it up here in the top as well. So recent changes, notifications, and it says Achieve More with Synology Drive. Sync backup files between your local computer and Synology Drive for easy and direct access. It's just going to tell us more about this. We'll click Next and then click Done. Now you'll see here it's set to continuous backup, and we can run it now, we can delete it, we can restore or pause, and let's see if we have anything in that folder. So if we go into our Movies folder, under YouTube videos, you'll see there's a few things there. So it's going to back those up. When it has a moment, it'll just back those up as something changes. Now, one thing that's really nice is if maybe we want to back something up right away, like I said, we can just drag something in, such as this wallpaper, and you'll see it switch to backing up, and then it backed up. So if we click these off of the screen, you'll see I have Z storage already here. Now, this is on my desktop when it starts up, and you can see right into the folder here. And now you'll see we have 16-inch MacBook Pro, where we didn't have that before. If we go into that, you will have to go into a few folders, but you'll see here that it's backed up not only the videos here, but also that wallpaper I just put in there. Now, if I delete this wallpaper from my computer, it won't delete on the storage unless I want it to. So even though it recognized I deleted it or something changed, it's not going to actually make that change at all. So this is from my desktop, and this is actually from my other computer at my house where it's backing up. I let it run overnight. It runs at about midnight or 2 a.m. every morning and backs up remotely. So we'll go ahead and drag that over here, which is local. We'll just move it. It will see the update here on the drive client, and then it updates on the drive itself over here. It's all seamless, very simple, and this is how I plan to use this. It will back up from every computer I use for creating videos automatically on any folder I choose. This can always be modified, of course. Now, if you don't want to do any of this, you don't have to. You can actually use Time Machine. So if you want to use Time Machine that's built in, you could do that and just have it back up everything. So let's go to Time Machine, and within Time Machine, you can add a backup disk. So you could select your storage, then you'll just set up the disk, and you can actually log in, and you're good to go. You can use it as a full Time Machine backup. So I'm not going to use it in that way, but you can use it for Time Machine and many other things. Now, if you want this to stick to your desktop, like I do, where I want it to show up every time I boot up the computer, you can do that very simply. We will need a little bit of information though. Now, once you're on the Synology main page here, we want to go to our control panel, go to File Services, and here we'll give you the local address where you can connect to your device and have it show up on your desktop. So if we copy this, and we have it both for Windows and Mac, so SMB, we'll go to Finder, then go to Go, then go to Connect to Server, and then we can add it. I already have it here, but I just wanted to show it as an example. We'll connect, and then we can pick which folder we want to show up on the desktop. In this case, I want Z storage. We'll click OK, and every time I boot up, this should show up automatically if it's on the local network. So that was just a quick setup of what you can do with the Synology DS1522 Plus. They make a lot of other products as well, and you'll see here's a ton of different things in the package center, or essentially the App Store. You could set this up as a full server. You could use Docker if you wanted to, Joomla, whatever you want to put on here. You can put PHPMyAdmin, PHP versions, full web server, WordPress, whatever you want to use it for, you could set it up for, even Plex. So all of these things are available directly here. It's very easy to use. And another thing, you can access this from your iPhone. So there's iPhone apps if you want to get into your different files, iPhone, iPad. And then also one thing I wanted to note is how quiet this is. This is actually in the same room I film all my videos in, and I can't hear it at all. It's just about a half a room over or so, and it's in a completely open area, and I can't hear it at all. Occasionally I'll hear it spin up, but not very loud at all. So it's super quiet. Of course, there are different modes you could set, but I just left it in default quiet mode, and it's nice and quiet. So that's a quick look at how I back up everything on my network. If you have any other questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, I'll leave a link to Synology in the description, and thanks again to them for sponsoring this video. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.